People ask me, what do you do for a living? I say I'm a happiness dealer. And they start laughing like, what do you mean? Do you sell drugs? I'm like, no, I sell comic books. Comic books make people happy.
Comics are the latest iteration of an art form that's been around for millennia.
When you read a comic book, you go into a fantasy world.
At some point during the week, you need escapism.
I believe comic books are the greatest American art form. I'd put it up there against anything.
You can walk into a comic book shop any day of the week and find something in common with somebody that you have nothing else in common with.
It's important that we let people know comics is a thriving art form.
There's so many factors going against comic shops these days that I think there's going to be 200 or 300 less shops next year.
Keeping a comic book store around is a measure of success.
The outside world is not always appreciative of what it takes.
It's a very difficult business to keep afloat.
You will have to be resilient and flexible.
It's adapt or die. That is what we do.
It can be draining.
When a customer asks me, what's this book about? I've got about 25 words to sell that customer on that book.
We have to sell the idea of comic books to them.
You can unload these boxes, you can put the comic books on the shelf, but they're not going to sell themselves.
In today's world, our #1 competitor is actually online retailing.
Why am I going to buy the same product from your store marked up when I can get it online for cheaper?
Sometimes people don't really understand the type of money that's spent on comic books.
When you started seeing the first $1 million plus sales, people started thinking, there must really be something here.
We've done like 30,000 in sales in 4 hours, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
Increased value brings increased respect in our society.
Not everybody's in it for the money, but it's also really nice when you can buy something for one price and sell it for a higher price later on. It's kind of the American way.
I think it is vital for the industry that the comic shop survives and thrives.
If comic books were to disappear,
that would be what you considered a doomsday scenario.
I don't even like to think about the idea that there wouldn't be a comic book shop. That hurts me.
Every business has a lifespan. We're not going to be around forever. Nobody is.
That's really going to be up to the people.
Marvel and DC just don't care. It's just all about the bigger corporations that own them and putting money in stockholders' pockets.
Every big corporation has an agenda, and it just depends on what side of the agenda the comic book industry lands.
It's getting a little scary, and we don't know what the future of the industry holds. We're just surviving and doing what we can to make the best of what we got in an ever-changing comic industry.